These 10 states are America's best places to live in 2022. American workers are in the driver's seat in ways they haven't been in years. That's because there are not nearly enough of them to fill more than 11 million job openings. So, workers increasingly can name their own terms. The calculation comes down to much more than money. Some states shine in healthcare. Some soar in education. Some excel in both or in much more. The best states ranking of United States draws on thousands of data points to measure how well states are performing for their citizens. In addition to healthcare and education, the metrics take into account a state's economy, its roads, bridges, internet and other infrastructure, its public safety, the fiscal stability of state government, and the opportunity it affords its residents. What goes into the overall ranking? Healthcare. The highest weighted ranking looks at healthcare access and affordability, healthcare quality, and health outcomes for citizens. Education. The education ranking measures how well states educate students in preschool, K-12, and different levels of higher education. Economy. The economy ranking tracks unemployment rates, GDP growth, migration into the state, patents, new businesses and more. Infrastructure. The infrastructure rankings gauge the quality of states' bridges, public transportation, power grids, broadband and more. Opportunity. This ranking measures poverty, housing affordability and equality for women, minorities and people with disabilities. Fiscal stability. This ranking tracks states' government credit ratings, liquidity, pension fund liability and budget balancing. Crime and corrections. Crime and corrections ranks states based on public safety and the quality and fairness of their prison systems, including racial bias. Natural environment. The natural environment ranking looks at the quality of air and water in a state, as well as exposure to pollution and toxins. Here is the 10 best states in America. Number 10. Florida. Florida attained statehood in 1845, yet not until a pair of railroad barons built lines down the Atlantic and Gulf coasts in the late 1800s and early 1900s did the state take off, spurring the phenomenal growth of what's now the third most populous state. With more than 100 million visitors a year to its beaches, major amusement parks centered around Orlando and cruise ships departing from ports on both coasts, tourism is a major contributor to Florida's gross domestic product. The state's agriculture leads the southeastern farm income, with Florida groves producing about 2/3 of the oranges in the United States and a winter vegetable industry that makes agriculture a year-round enterprise. Overview of Florida. Population, 21,477,737. Capital, Tallahassee. Median income, $29,758. GDP, $1,107 billion. Number 9. Massachusetts. Massachusetts, the second of the 13 original colonies, became the 6th state in the Union in February 1788. Today, the fields of education and health services employ the most people in Massachusetts. Another top industry is manufacturing, especially computer and electronic products. Massachusetts' technology sector has flourished in recent years and is among the most concentrated in the nation. With a balance of historical destinations and picturesque beaches at Cape Cod, Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, the tourism industry also is a major economic powerhouse. Overview of Massachusetts. Population, 6,892,503. Median income, $40,365. College educated, 52.4%. GDP, $597 billion. Capital, Boston. Number 8. Wisconsin. The French and British went to war over rights to the fur trade, and when peace was declared in 1763, the British prevailed. As European immigrants poured into the Wisconsin state. In the 19th century, many settled on farms, and some worked in lumbering and mining. The state earned its Badger State nickname from itinerant miners, who burrowed into hills for shelter, rather than building homes. Old line manufacturing has accounted for much of the state's industry over the past century. Among the 35 largest enterprises, nearly all are in manufacturing, with exporters such as Rockwell Automation and Generac Power Systems and others making industrial controls. In addition, dairy is a major driver of Wisconsin's economy, generating more than $20 billion a year. Cheese making, cranberries, snap beans and corn for silage are major agricultural products in the state. Capital: Madison. Population: 5,822,434. Median income: $34,280. GDP: $349 billion. College educated: 42.3%. Number 7. Virginia. In 1607, 100 English settlers arrived in what is now Virginia, to find a robust realm of Native American tribes. They founded their own fort on the southern shore, later known as Jamestown. Virginia's economy is as diverse as the shipbuilding on the southern shore, the farming and tobacco growing of rural areas, seafood harvesting along the Atlantic coast and rivers, the apple-growing capital of Winchester. In the northwest, wineries spread among the countryside and the technology companies of the suburban Washington corridor. Overview of Virginia. Area: 42,775 square mi. GDP: $557 billion. College educated: 47.6%. Population: 8,535,519. Capital: Richmond. Median income: $36,470. Number 6. Nebraska. The state's biggest farm product is beef, with about 19,000 cattle ranches, starting cows off on grass feeding before delivering them to feed lots for the state's trademark corn-fed beef. The cattle industry generates more than $7 billion a year in revenue. The state also counts 3 million pigs among its farms, and the pork industry generates $1 billion a year in revenue. A major urban center in the state is Omaha, home to Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men. Stock in his Berkshire Hathaway holding company, managing a wide array of companies, has made many Americans wealthy over 50 years. Overview of Nebraska. Area: 77,347 square mi. GDP: $130 billion. College educated: 44.3%. Population: 1,934,408. Capital: Lincoln. Median income: $33,864. Number 5. Idaho. Idaho is as well known for its potatoes, trout and precious stones, as it is for its unspoiled, rugged landscapes. Snowy mountains, deep valleys, lakes and rivers cover the Gem State, which is twice the size of the 6 New England states combined. A Rocky Mountain state, Idaho is bordered by Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Montana, Wyoming, and a small portion of Canada's British Columbia. The $3 billion tourism industry plays a key role in Idaho's economy, and major industries in the state include advanced manufacturing, aerospace, computer technology, and innovation, energy, food production and recreation technology. Overview of Idaho. Area: 83,568 square mi. GDP: $84 billion. College educated: 39.4%. Population: 1,787,065. Capital: Boise. Median income: $29,567. Number 4. New Hampshire. New Hampshire may be one of the smallest states, but it traditionally has played an outsized role in the nation's greatest task, election of the president. The Granite State has jealously guarded its position as first in line for the quadrennial, presidential primary elections. Political careers have been made, salvaged and busted, in this first-in-the-nation primary, though its actual impact often is overshadowed by its legendary power. Since 2000, most of the New Hampshire primary winners have failed to win the White House. The state's natural beauty stands out more for its valleys, rivers, lakes and mountains than its mere 13 miles of Atlantic Ocean coastline. Its highest peak, Mount Washington, stands at 6,288 feet in the White Mountains, and Lake Winnipesaukee is its best-known inland resort. Overview of New Hampshire. Area, 9,350 square mi. GDP, $88 billion. College educated, 47.5%. Population, 1,359,711. Capital, Concord. Median income, $37,094. Number 3. Utah. Utah was dubbed Deseret by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who settled this remote western realm in the mid-1800s, fleeing from religious discrimination in the East. On May 10, 1869, the first transcontinental railroad was established at Promontory Summit, in the Utah Territory, where the Union and Central Pacific Railroads met. As gold and silver were discovered in the mountains, Congress named the territory Utah after local Native Americans. Utah was cut in half to form Nevada, Colorado won a slice, and Wyoming won some land. Utah became the 45th state in 1896. Overview of Utah. Area, 84,898 square mi. GDP, $193 billion. College educated, 44.4%. Population, 3,205,958. Capital, Salt Lake City. Median income, $31,958. Number 2. Minnesota. The United States gained the land now known as Minnesota, starting in the late 1700s through the Treaty of Paris, the Louisiana Purchase, and negotiations with the Dakota Indians and other tribes who had long inhabited the land. As the northernmost territory, in the 48 contiguous states, Minnesota is known for its frigid conditions. Its residents see about 70 inches of snowfall each year in the northern region, along with an average winter temperature of 8 degrees Fahrenheit. The cold weather explains ice hockey's popularity in Minnesota, and makes it a perfect destination for cross-country skiing, ice fishing and other snow sports. Overview of Minnesota. Area, 86,943 square mi. GDP, $384 billion. College educated, 48.8%. Population, 5,639,632. Capital, St. Paul. Median income, $38,224. Number 1. Washington. Washington, the only state named after a U.S. president, gained its statehood in 1889. The Evergreen State is an outdoor enthusiast's dream with its geological diversity, ranging from mountains to deserts, rainforests and a Pacific coastline. It offers the Olympic Mountains, the San Juan Islands and Mount Rainier, one of the nation's highest peaks in the lower 48. In addition to its scenic treasures, Washington is known as the birthplace of Starbucks Coffee, the Boeing Company, and Microsoft Corp. Because of its coastal location, Washington is a key exporter for the United States, particularly for transportation equipment. Additionally, Washington is crucial to the nation's food and agriculture industry, generating 70% of the country's apples, and also leading in milk, potato and cattle production. The aerospace industry is a major economic driver for the state. The military and defense sector employs the second largest number of people in Washington, with more than 127,000 active duty, reserve, guard and civilian personnel. Other successful industries include maritime, technology and clean energy. Overview of Washington. Area, 71,301 square mi. GDP, $613 billion. College educated, 46.9%. Population, 7,614,893. Capital, Olympia. Median income, $38,041. Please, if this is your first time on my YouTube channel, kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Thanks and remain blessed.